better to drink than feel.
I'm having a feeling. Oh my god.
If you wanna know my name, it's easy. They call me the devil, but I prefer Jesus. I'm gonna climb into your brain and plant my eggs in you. Come on, sing along.
I'm having a feeling.
Oh my god, I'm having a feeling. Better start drinking. I better start drinking. Oh my god, I'm having a feeling.
Oh my god.
Better start drinking again one more time.
When I'm massaging the feet of my sister's lovers, I like to listen to podcasts. I picked the Duncan Trussell Family Hour podcast. Andrew was disgusted by the ridiculous song at the beginning, some kind of acapella bullshit Satanist crap. He pulled his foot away from my hand and left, leaving me completely alone in my apartment. I had no choice but to pull on some spandex and head out on my bike. I passed the local cemetery and climbed over the gate and burrowed down into that summer soil until at last I broke through into a crypt and frolicked among the bones of a long dead person. When I returned home, I smelled terrible. I couldn't sleep and thrashed about in bed, feverish and still covered with mud and dirt. This is why I can only give this podcast 2 stars. I do not recommend this podcast. It is absolutely horrible. We'll never listen again.
And now, here he is, the host of the DTFH, Daniel Diffo!
Greetings, friends. It's me, Daniel Differ, and you're listening to Daniel Differ Fattest Flipper Fab. I love sharing my life with y'all through the medium of podcasting, and I realized that I never ever talked about a problem I had when I was younger with tapeworms. I was crawling with them, and so I got together with some pretty big Hollywood producers and Pixar, and we made an amazing animation, which you can find on my Instagram account. But we also made an incredible song. This song was produced by Gabe Princh over at Princh Studios, and you're going to hear some incredible tunes cooked up. If you don't want tapeworms, stop eating tapeworm eggs. It was only later that I realized that my driver had been Bill Murray. And thanks to his great advice, I no longer eat those tapeworm eggs.
Oh yeah, Johnny Pemberton is with us today. But first, this.
This episode of the DTFH is brought to you by the sweeties over at Instacart, who want to save you from the atrocious, hellish soul mazes made of doom food that we call grocery stores. There's no need for you to waste your precious life hours in this hellish situation, pushing your creaky cart through the sneeze particulates of freshly infected children when you could be dancing and frolicking, enjoying mushroom rituals in the sacred groves of the elders, mounting and being mounted by your many lovers, and tasting the sweet drizzle of Pan's hoofed undercarriage. It's time for you to win your life back and get the Instacart app. You can get groceries delivered to you in as fast as 1 hour, a time that works with your schedule. They've got exclusive coupons, so you can save money with coupons on your pantry staples, and it's available at your favorite stores, delivered from local and national retailers. You don't have to sit in traffic wondering if we truly are trapped in some Gnostic maze created by an insane demiurge. You could win your life back and spend those precious grocery store hours in your laboratory transforming lead into gold. It's the best. They come to your house, you're stoned, you get bags of food, you try to act like you're not stoned, they don't care. And then you take your groceries upstairs and you feast like the noble queen or king that you truly are. Try Instacart and get $10 off your first order. To get this limited time offer, go to instacart.com or download the mobile app and enter my promo code Duncan at checkout. That's $10 off your first order today at instacart.com or through the mobile app. And don't forget to enter my code Duncan Instacart.com, or through the mobile app with my code, you guessed it, Duncan, at checkout. A letter from a fan. Dear Duncan, over the last many generations, my family has fallen prey to an ancient curse because my great-great-grandfather incinerated a very powerful wizard. Ever since then, no one in my family has been able to walk without a limp, and our tongues and lower lips will unfurl and dangle down at dinner tables, smacking into our plates and embarrassing us. I would do anything to break this curse. Do you have any advice? Sincerely, Lord Cuthturk. First of all, thanks for listening, Lord Cuthturk. It is amazing to know that a Lord is actually listening to my podcast. And yeah, I do know a way for you to lift the curse. The best way for you to lift this horrific curse is to head over to my Patreon, patreon.com/DTFH, and subscribe. You're going to get commercial-free episodes of the DTFH. You're going to get hour-long rambling rants. Some of them are going to be really sanctimonious, where I talk about stuff I don't really know too much about, but I'm trying to work it out in my own head. And some of them won't make sense to you at all. But the good news is you'll be supporting your favorite podcast, and your family curse will eventually lift. That's 100% guaranteed. Another way for you to get that curse out is to find some Brazilian cuttlefish and jam them into the very top folds of your upper gunt. Hold them there for a couple of months, and I have a feeling you're going to find that the curse has gone away. You could also support our sponsors, which is basically like supporting us. But mostly, my dear Lord, the best thing for you to do is to understand that, cursed or not, this world is yours. Life is yours. And at any moment, whenever you're ready, you can explode out of that dark, calcified shell you call your identity and enter into a new level of the simulator we call human existence, exploding into a universe of orgasms, opulence, abundance, sweetness, and joy. You see, my dear Lord, as a man who has lost both his parents and has only one ball, I've discovered that regardless of circumstance, there appears to be a contactable, transcendent energy that exists in every single breath. It's as though our breaths were the metronome that God implanted into the meat robots we call our bodies, so that we could recalibrate ourselves not to the ravenous, stammering, staccato terror drones of the news or mainstream media, or the crazy people in our lives lost in a never-ending dream of such deep despair, or our own never-ending internal monologue we've confused as our true identity, and tune into the infinite, effulgent exhalation of the divine, which we're all part of. No matter what, the bottom line is this: you're meant to be exactly where you are, and when at last you gain true wisdom and understanding, you will be inhaled back into your supreme identity and share with the soul cluster that is you the information that you have learned in this place you call your incarnation. Good luck to you, Lord, and remember, it's patreon.com/DTFH. We have got a tremendous podcast for you today. Our guest is a longtime friend of mine, Johnny Pemberton. I spent a couple of years in the Arctic with him at a secret base, and we've also been through our own struggles. We have lost arm wrestling tournaments, and I believe Johnny has at this point lost 7 fishing trawlers out at sea. But what I love about him is he doesn't let this get him down. He always buys a new boat, even though he and all of his friends know eventually the son of a gun is going to sink, because he keeps taking it into the Bermuda Triangle, where he thinks that there's some kind of buried treasure. We don't talk about that at all on this podcast, but we do talk about a great many incredible things. So literally strap yourselves down. If you're in a non-seatbelt area, get some ropes or get a friend to tie you down to your chair. And my advice would be to put electrodes all over your body and have them connected to some kind of thermal readout mechanism, so that we can be certain that you stay alive through the entire podcast, because based on a scan I did with one of my monitoring devices, this podcast has the potential to send you into such incredible bouts of samadhi-like orgasmic transcendent realization that you could actually leave your body and transfer your soul into Shambhala, that great kingdom of peace that eventually we're all going to end up in, but where you're not allowed to go at this second, at least not until after you listen to the entire podcast. So now, without further ado, I welcome to the Duncan Trussell Family Hour podcast, Johnny Pemberton.
This new phone, man, it's too fucking big. Which one do you have?
That Max, I have the Super Max.
I can't do it.
Thing,
I have to get rid of it.
Yeah,
It's too heavy. It's too big.
I agree with. I know. I just hate it all. I hate how addicted I am to it.
This thing is.
Let me see that.
Look how big that fucker is.
I think that's the same size as mine.
It's the same size. But I had a smaller phone before that. The transition is destroying my life.
Is that Tim Heidecker on the front?
No, it's Harry Nilsson.
Who's Terry Nielsen?
Harry Nilsson?
Oh, Harry Nielsen.
Yeah.
Terry Nielsen.
It's Terry Nilsson.
It's because, oh yeah, look at this. My phone is actually bigger
Yours
than
is even
your
bigger.
phone. What the fuck?
This is insane. It's actually yours is lighter, I think, than mine. Oh, it's about the same, I think.
Yeah,
way.
it's a mess, man. We're all carrying around these fucking things, acting like they don't radiate some crazy shit into our bodies, just imagining that they're recording everything we say, and now an AI is about to imitate everybody.
Oh, yeah.
What do you think about that, the deep fake shit?
I think it's pretty exciting.
Exciting? What do you mean? You're not afraid of it?
I guess so. I mean, it's one of those things where all that stuff, I always feel like it's too late. By the time there's an article about it or something, it's like, oh, this has existed in some format really for a long time, to where we're already beyond the pale, or, the cat's out of the bag, that sort of shit.
Yeah.
So the thing that kind of spooks me more than anything is the thing where they're doing it to actors now.
Yeah.
Like you saw in Star Wars when they did
Sure.
impersonated Grand Meister Hoff, whatever the guy, that imperialist guy. And the latest Star Wars, not the latest one, it was like a few movies ago, they had an impersonation of him, or like a digital recreation of him, because he's dead.
Yeah.
And it looks almost like him, but it's not super close, but it's so close. That was 4 or 5 years ago. Now it's going to be spot on.
Yeah, they did it. They crossed the uncanny valley. We all knew it was
Yeah.
coming. They crossed the fucking uncanny valley, and now they're about to unleash hell onto this planet. And what's so fascinating about it is the sort of hell they're about to unleash is one I don't think anyone predicted.
You don't think so?
I know.
I mean, I didn't.
I don't. I'm in the sense of like in the traditional apocalypse scenarios.
Oh, yeah.
In the traditional dystopian Twilight Zone shit, I can't think, and that doesn't mean it's not out there, of one that actually visited the possibility of us having to deal with digital clones.
I think I know why.
Why?
I think this is like that thing of it's a soft apocalypse, so it's not dramatic enough for it to be fictionally rendered, because it's something where it's like a creeper apocalypse. The idea that slowly you won't be able to trust anything because the truth is indistinguishable from a forgery, and it's something where it's like this thing it's almost like radiation or something, where you don't know unless you have a specific instrument. You have a Geiger counter, you can tell if something's irradiated, but there's no way to like tell if something's fake now. There's no truth instrument.
Yeah, and it's like it's the reality of, because I was talking to a friend and he's like, well, you're just gonna have to meet people in person.
Yeah,
And
it's gonna be like the old spy days.
The old
shit.
That's right.
Spycraft.
Yes, but so many of us have meaningful relationships where we see a person in their physical form maybe twice a year.
Yeah.
So much of our like tribe is based purely online, meaning that this is one of the. I'm sorry, y'all are going to hear me talk about this too much. Here's one of the problems. You're going to start getting your family's going to get robocalled by AI versions of you seeking to gather personal information.
Ooh, I didn't think about that.
FaceTime.
Yeah.
FaceTime calls from your mom saying she's in a lot of trouble and just like, can you send her money? Basic shit like that.
I never thought about that. That's fucking creepy because the Nigerians will find a way to do that shit. They will.
They're already thinking about it, I'm sure.
Yeah.
They're already building. I'm sure there's already like they're in the midst of building an office building just purely for reproducing Westerners, digitizing Westerners and calling their family to get their stuff, meaning that your phone numbers in your phone are going to become particularly valuable the way passwords are valuable now. Because if I can get the phone number of your friends, and I can replicate your voice, forget even the video of your face, if I can just replicate your voice, I can call your friends as you. And I could be like, hey, what's going on? I was wondering if you could tell me what's up with and name a person I'm trying to get info on. And you're going to start, talking shit or whatever you normally do. Yeah. And that ain't the person you were. And then you're going to talk to one of your friends and you're like, hey, yeah, when we were talking the other day. And they're going to be like, we didn't talk the other day.
Cabin sales are going to go through the roof. Prefab cabins.
Faraday cages.
Yeah, invest in Faraday cages, invest in cabins.
Yeah, and it's like we're now at the point because we're so teetering on this reality, which is like don't forget, like imagine a weaponized version of this. So it's like all of a sudden you're invading a country, you've done a scan of 6,000 of Facebook profiles in that country. You've hacked into them using that crazy fucking NSA shit. You've got all their phone numbers. And then suddenly, right before an attack, 6,000 people or 50,000 people get called from AI versions of their closest friends who start telling them crazy shit about a zombie attack, a disease outbreak. And then suddenly you create a mass panic that then makes it easier to invade the country.
Yeah.
So that's the other piece of the puzzle. And it's right now, if I start calling like my closest friends and I'm like, listen, if someone calls you claiming to be me and they start saying weird shit, I ask the password. The password is whatever. So we're going to have to start having like personal passwords.
But how do you keep that password from being intercepted?
You have to meet in person.
Yeah.
So literally, and then if right now both of us are like, fuck, this does seem like a reality, and we start sitting down in person with our closest friends to tell them our password, we're going to get hospitalized. They're going to be like, you went over the fucking line, baby. You're gone. Yeah. What are you talking about?
Like, so he asked you to go in there for a password check. What is this? Is this some sort of a thing? Oh no, because what's coming is there? You think I'm me, but might not be me because you don't know what's the password for me. Do you know if I told you it? They're like, okay, 1 second, we're just gonna call. No, what is the password? Did I tell you? If I told you, then it's me. But what password is it? Because the fake me would have told you the real password, but the fake me could have told you a password that wasn't the actual password. So we don't.
And then these phone calls are going to be happening on the phone, and then you're going to be like, your friend's going to be like, hang on, I'm getting another call. Hello? And it's you!
Yeah.
It's maybe the real you. Or
hey, am I calling you right now? What do you mean? Am I me? Am I on the other line right now? Okay, that's not me.
Beep, beep. Hello? Dude, I've been hacked. None of the me's calling you are really me. Right? And so that is a real thing that we're going to have to deal with in the future, and we don't have time to prepare for it. There's no way to like get ready for this. It's going to be there's going to be at least 6 months of such profound chaos once the Nigerians, the Russians, and whoever else and the comedians get a hold of this shit. Forget it.
We're done. I mean, it's already the technology's already out there. It's already cheap, right?
I'm looking into it right now.
I've seen a couple of them because it's advancing really fast. That's the thing. It's always that thing where you see the first version of it, you're like, bullshit, I can tell. And you just wait, 15 months and you see it. and it's so much more advanced, so fast. They won't need as much data collection to do the same thing, probably.
I mean, no matter what, if it's 2 years, 5 years, which is way before 5 years, but whatever it is, I don't know. It's like just all these preppers. I don't think they fucking were prepping for the right thing.
Yeah.
I think we have to start prepping for like a mass wave of paranoid insanity to spread across the country as people become completely confused by what's real and what isn't real.
You know, I bet it will be the final thing will be scent based. You have to smell something. It's the one thing the robots don't have is they can't smell.
Oh, fuck.
So you have to like always be sweaty to generate some sort of strong olfactory response to your friends.
Yeah.
And you have like a do-do-do-do-do. Okay, it's him.
Come here. Smell his armpit.
Pheromone check.
He doesn't stink. Get back. Yeah.
Why don't you smell?
Dude,
You've been walking for 2 days. You don't smell at all.
Oh, yeah. What kind of deodorant do you use, mate? Because I think you might not use any at all. This is in one of the Dune books. Duncan Idaho was like one of the main character's best friends. Mm-hmm. And he ended up getting cloned by enemies who sent him the clone of his friend. His friend was killed. His enemies openly just sent him the clone. And he had to deal with like what to do, knowing that here's his best friend, exactly like his best friend, sent to him from his enemies. I think that's how it went. It's been a while since I read it.
Yeah.
And he was in this position of, do I kill my best friend or the clone of my best friend? Or do I allow him to be in my presence and think maybe I could like fix him? It's not a trap, or there's a way to deactivate the trap.
It's weird to think too, because if you also think about like machines and robots and stuff, you see a lot of people treating them poorly, you know, like punching your computer, or people who get impatient with machines. But you think about it, like I started trying to be more, what's the word? Like gentle or kind of kind with things that are malfunctioning, because it's like, oh, this is a computer is essentially like we're a form of a computer. We learn.
Whoa.
I mean, we don't learn the same way, but AI learns in a similar way to the human brain. If you think about like an insect, right? The difference between, I was thinking about this the other day, the difference between a drone and an insect is that an insect is not taking directions from something from a higher form of intelligence. It's kind of either existing on like a hive setup, or it has its own sort of really primitive prime directive to go walk forward until I find sugar, and then when I do find sugar, return to tell the other things where that is.
Yeah.
So if you think about it, like, because I was thinking about, you know, those drones that are really small, they talk about becoming a real thing, like a spider could be in here, operated by a foreign or any kind of intelligence service, and you would never in a million years know it's there because it's so small. And or even the idea where you could take an actual living organism and by way of nanoparticles, you could kind of enslave it to, you can program it. You can program the thing because it's basically all electrical impulses. I interviewed some guy, my friend Paul, he's a microbiologist who studies neurobiology. He talks about how there's this new way of delivering drugs that uses nanoparticles, that they can like deliver them to certain regions of the brain, which is so specified. If you extrapolate that, you can think like, oh, you could do this with an insect you could basically control an insect so it becomes a biological drone.
Yeah.
Even though it's not motors and stuff, it kind of is the same thing.
Fun.
The line blurs. So if you think about that, then those things they're somewhat sentient. And if you bring up the line to where like a super high functioning computer is in some sense like maybe it's not sentient, but if you treat it with like the respect you would treat like a cat or something, you're not just going to kick a cat because you don't kick your dog, or you shouldn't kick your dog if it doesn't obey your command. You know how like when they teach dogs, they always tell you if you're gentle with an animal, it's much better than being angry with them.
Yeah, sure.
Like if I yell at my dog to come inside, she doesn't come inside as fast. I'm like, Rabbit, inside, come inside. And then she comes because she's not scared. So I feel like this is like the most long-winded explanation
I
of
love it.
computers will eventually be indistinguishable from biological life forms. So if we treat them like they're biological life forms because they're eventually going to be that way anyways, then we won't have to deal with any kind of repercussions from those things because
You mean like revenge?
Yeah, like revenge, or the idea that they're out to get us when really they're the things that we created, so we should respect them as treat them with kindness.
Really?
Because they're not.
You want me to? What do you want me to do? Take my computer out to the fair?
I want you to fuck it.
You want me to fuck my computer, Johnny? What should I do? Start spooning applesauce into it?
Yeah, I want you to be sweet
No,
to
I
it.
agree with you, man.
Download some good programs for it to read.
Let me tell you, I make love to my computer every night, Johnny Pemberton. Every night. The thing you're talking about is part of what I've been considering, because I've been reading a lot of Chogyam Trungpa, and he seems to have boiled down one of the great problems in the world right now, in society and personally, is aggression.
Oh God, yeah. I mean, I haven't really read any of him at all.
Yeah,
but I have been thinking about that a lot lately because it's like a thing where it's just everywhere. And I find even myself too a lot of times like, why am I so pissed about nothing? Or just when people are, just the simple act of driving, how aggressive people can be. And even I'll be like, I'll have like reactions like, what the fuck, why am I reacting this way to nothing?
Yeah. And that is you're angry.
Yeah.
And as most people are like in some way, shape, or form pissed off, and so you have like, if you haven't gotten to the point yet of even distinguishing aggression as like a thread of your identity, and you're just, this is what life is, and you're in the thick of it, so to speak. Then you just are kind of like a robot. What's the difference between you and the sugar fly? You're just, that you were talking about earlier, you're maybe a little more advanced in the sense that you can drive and shit and you can go a further distance and whatever. But ultimately, if you're sort of in the grip of anger and aggression, you are basically running a very simple, ancient line of code, right?
Right. You're like a dopamine addict in a way.
Yeah. Yeah. You're getting off on it. You're like, so this thing you're talking about with computers, it's like, well, regardless of whether the fucking thing has sentience or not, you could kind of just see where you're at by looking at the way you treat inanimate objects. You know? Like what are you doing with matter itself? What's your relation? Do you save a kind of aggression for your immaterial things that you don't do on living things, inorganic things versus organic things?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And if you are doing that, then really what you've done, I guess, is like taken a little area of your life and said, here is where I could be aggressive.
Yeah.
And people say, oh, that's my outlet.
Right.
You know, that's just how I get out my, that's my punching pillow.
Right.
Yeah.
It's weird because it's like a thing where to make a distinction between things it's purely arbitrary. Because at what point is something sentient? At what point is something like you can just, a lot of people draw the line with like, oh, plants. Plants they're not anything really. Like plants are different than a dog because plants don't have a face, but a dog has a face. But really, that's just like a homo. What's it called when you're like? It's just it's
anthropocentric.
Like something like whatever that is. That sounds about right. Anthropocentric. That sounds like enough combinations of the words. Yeah, like a thing where it's in your DNA to be kind to things that have two eyes and a nose and a mouth because they look like you. So you want to preserve things that are close to you. When something doesn't look like you, it's easy to be like, this doesn't feel the same way I do. And maybe it doesn't feel anything like you, but it's still a thing. It's still like an entity. The line is so. I think the line is there's no line. There's no actual line between anything. There's just sort of a gradual change in terms of the difference between a spider and a human.
Well, yeah, and also we you know, there still seems to be something of an argument over where consciousness is happening anyway. Like, is it a neurological effect? Is it some, like, I don't know, like the sum total of all the microorganisms living inside a thing radiating some kind of like consciousness or some shit? And then if that's the case, then we're dealing with a kind of non-embodied effect of interconnectivity. And then if that's the case, when you're looking at an inanimate object or anything for that matter, you're just seeing a reflection of your own sentience, meaning that like doing violence or harm to anything.
Because you're doing it to yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how I feel. I feel like the most embarrassed I've ever been was when I've been like the most angry at something. Like I got super angry and did this terrible thing, like I destroyed something with my hands because I was so pissed off. And then afterwards you're like, oh, this is just, I feel so sad and embarrassed because essentially I'm doing that to myself. It's like it's such a, what's it called? A projection.
Yeah.
It's not anything, that thing didn't do anything. It's a projection.
And it's based on intent, isn't it? Right? Like, you know what I mean? Like, you know, like if you're chopping wood, which I do every day.
I wish I could chop wood.
I do too.
God
actually.
damn it. We should start a wood chopping club.
I would love it. Well, I used to chop wood up in North Carolina, you know, just to get ready for the winter for our just as a matter of like, that's what you did.
Yeah, when you were 7 or 8.
And it was a blast. And at the summer camp I worked at, we'd have wood chopping competitions. And there was something very satisfying, very ASMR about it. It's like got this really nice sound. It's great exercise too.
Totally.
But when I'm chopping wood, I guess when I was a kid, I might have been pissed because I'm like, I don't want to be fucking chopping.
I don't want to chop this wood.
Yeah, but like in general, I'm feeling peace. When I hit a golf ball, I'm feeling peace. You know, I'm not like I'm gonna get this fucking golf ball. God, I really lay it into that golf ball. Watch this shit. Fuck you. Fuck you. Anyway, what I'm saying is, it's like you could be violent and gentle into matter. Theoretically, you could be violent and gentle to people in a kind of defensive situation. And like, that's to me, where I'm like, keep looking. It's like, oh, we don't have to imagine that if we're not aggressive, that we will lose conflict. You know what I mean? That aggression is a necessary fuel for successful self-defense. That can't be the case. That's not true. You can like you could be violent and not hate and even not be filled with rage.
Metal. Listen to fucking metal.
Right.
Because I kind of realized that because I got really into metal. Not really into metal, but like occasionally I'll hit these spots where all I'm listening to is thrash metal. And you listen to it and it's not angry so much as like there's a lot of rage in it.
Yeah.
And it feels really good to listen to it. But when I listen to it, I don't feel like I don't become angry. I become the opposite because it's like this thing where it's almost like you're so angry, not angry, you're so in love. It's like, I love you. It's that.
What's the angriest you ever gotten?
The angriest I ever got?
Yeah.
I mean, I can't.
What made you that? What's that's not private? Can you say anything that like where you got like ridiculously?
Not that long ago, I got really angry playing a video game. I was really tired, and I should have gone to bed. I think anytime I'm really angry, it's when I should be asleep.
Whoa, right.
It's like I don't know why I didn't try to go to bed, but I'm like, I'm gonna keep staying up, even though everything is telling me. It's time to relax now. It's time the day is over. Yeah. It's time you can start again tomorrow.
Yeah.
You don't have to solve everything at 10 p.m. at night.
No.
I'm playing a video game, and I know because video games are frustrating, especially if you're playing like an online multiplayer game. I got so pissed. I threw the controller at the monitor and destroyed it.
That happened recently?
About maybe a few months ago, yeah.
Whoa!
Yeah.
And so, okay, you throw the controller.
Right.
Wait, tell me again, what was in the game? What happened again?
I don't know, we lost or something.
A team?
Yeah.
Is this a team you play with regularly?
No, it was not a team I play with. It was sort of regularly, yeah.
But they heard you scream.
I don't know if I even screamed, but I definitely, because I was in another room.
Okay.
And so, I'm not sure, but they definitely, I'm not sure exactly.
Well, did you, it's like whenever that happens to me, you realize like, oh, this is the same thing that makes a snake strike. It's like this quick, like, whoop, and you're like, wait, what? Fuck, what is this? It's like, I don't know. Sometimes I think of it as like the opposite of an orgasm.
Totally.
It has this like weird ejaculatory quality to it.
Yeah. It's blind rage.
Yeah.
It's like you're seething, and I want to you're starting and you want to destroy everything. And I did that, and then afterwards I just felt so bad. I felt so terrible and just deeply embarrassed, the kind of thing where what made me feel the worst was the worst part of it, totally, was I saw how our dog reacted, because she comes in afterwards and she's so like, are you okay? Like real gentle, her ears are down, she's really low, just real quiet, comes in like, are you okay? Are you okay right now? Is everything okay? And that just like broke my fucking heart. Like, oh my God, I was just devastated because I felt like I've made this animal who's basically my familiar. If I feel something, she feels the same thing. It's eerie. The extent to which she mirrors my emotions, it's psychotic. It's not psychotic. It's this thing where, how is this possible? You are so tuned in to how I feel.
Yeah.
At any moment, even if it's just the most subtle thing, she just knows. She knows I feel that way, or she reacts the same way, because it's almost like, oh, if I'm acting like it's raining in here, she's going to act like it's raining in here.
Right. But there's another option, which is even weirder. You're sharing a mind. Have you ever heard this before? You share a mind. Like, we all share a mind. Everyone thinks we have our own mind. We don't. There's one mind that we share. So if your mind becomes distorted, it's my mind is becoming distorted simultaneously.
Oh, totally. It's the ET phenomenon. It's that, because ET and Elliot, they had a mind link.
Oh yeah, that.
That's that.
Yeah. That's it. Yeah. So, right, you're impacting your environment. Your dog's getting fucking neurotic because and also, but here's one fun thing to think about, dude. At any given moment, how many controllers are flying through the air into monitors?
It's probably a near constant rate.
If you like a rain, like a rain of like the strangest kind of rage falling on monitors. But if you had to if you had to bet, like they somehow did the study, they figured it out, which they probably could do. Yeah. Holy fuck! I bet PlayStation. I bet they do have a way to like know that a controller's been flung through the air.
Because they don't break on their own. Like, they break with use, probably over 10,000 hours of use, maybe. But they don't, they're pretty well-made things. I've even thrown one years ago. I kind of threw it to the ground, and it cracked, and it worked for years after that even.
Yeah, well, that's talk about rage. When the motherfucker, like, starts malfunctioning.
Oh, God, yeah.
Mid-game, and you start shooting your gun in a place you were trying to do some kind of stealth mission.
Oh, it's ridiculous. But I like talking about it because it makes me, at first I was so embarrassed about it, I wouldn't talk about it, but then I realized, I should talk about this because it's embarrassing.
Oh, yeah.
It's a thing where it made me feel better to talk about it, because I felt so good in the weeks after that, because I just had this, it was almost like a meltdown where I was just, obviously I wasn't angry at the game. The game is just a neutral, it's like the canvas of my personality that I decided to paint on.
Right.
And so I was just so, I don't know, who knows why I was enraged. Obviously being tired is a big thing.
It's funny to imagine your words coming out of a volcano.
What do you mean?
Just erupted. Who's in therapy? And
my God!
To explain, I was tired. When I get tired, I tend to erupt. I haven't been sleeping enough. They built a mall down the way from me, which is fine.
So you say that my nature is a volcano? That I'm meant to do that once in a while?
Yeah, well, not meant to. Just sort of like it's like one of my friends. I was like, before, like, I've been trying to cut down eating meat, and I was had just had lamb and was feeling real shitty about that.
You felt bad about having lamb?
Yeah, and I'm not, again, like, not trying to do like obnoxious vegan shit here. It's a very personal decision, and if you're enjoying it and you're cool with it, do it. If you're not, and you're feeling weird about it, you got to look into that. Like, why do I feel weird about eating meat? So, anyway, I was talking to my Buddhist friend, and he's like, I was like, yeah, I just ate lamb. I do feel guilty. And he goes, too late for you, too late for the lamb.
Yeah.
It's like nothing you can do now.
There's no point. And there's no point in, what's it called? Self-flagellation over something that's already been done.
Yeah. And that's one of the cool things that I'm learning about having a baby, and I'm learning from my baby, is it's like you do see rage come out of a 5-month-old. Like, it's not just, he's cycling through emotions, and sometimes he gets legitimately pissed. And who can blame him? He can't control his body.
Right.
He doesn't get to go to the refrigerator and get water. He depends completely on us to make sure he's okay, and that could be a very frustrating predicament. But what's awesome about it is this pure primordial fury will come out of him, and then within seconds, the most beautiful, happy smile and a great laugh, and no sense of like, man, Dad, I'm sorry. I fucking screamed at you when you were changing my diaper. You see, I've had like kind of an upset stomach, and
there's no guilt.
Nothing. Yeah, none of that shit. It's just pure isness, and it's really quite beautiful. But goddamn, we do torture ourselves for these embarrassing outbursts. And I think one great thing to do is just admit, oh yeah, I did it. I blew my stack. I malfunctioned for a second in this hyper embarrassing way.
Yeah, because if you berate yourself, you're just doing it all over again, kind of.
Well, so it's like this is called, I've heard it's compared to threading a necklace or building it. So if like the idea is like, we are very similar to bugs in the sense that the way a spider is always going to make a web in a certain way, we keep recreating our conditions in this instinctual way. So we're always replicating the condition of aggression, meaning that you throw your fucking controller at the TV, you fucking scream, your dog comes in, you feel incredibly guilty because you see your dog, you feel insane because you just got that bad. Maybe if you're me, you're going to start thinking like, am I going nuts? Like, is this the beginning of some, spiral into insanity? Like
Randy Quaid.
Yeah. What is that? BS. Hold on. Hang on. I want to talk about Randy Quaid. So, but anyway, that's just more aggression. So now you're not throwing your controller at the screen. You're throwing this negative shit at your own.
You're just completing the circle again, because I realized sometimes I judge my judgment.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I'm judging this person. Oh, why you judge this person, dumbass? Oh, now I'm doing it again. It's like, really, just let it be.
Feedback loop. It's no different than an echo pedal feedback loop where you start echoing aggression to the point where it finally becomes this unbearable howl because you've just been, where it's just like, and it's all because you are attempting to, it's almost like drinking a poison, and then next to the poison is poison that you think is the antidote. So it's like trying to drink poison as an antidote to the poison you drank and getting progressively sick. That's the idea, is at some point you have to stop being aggressive and see, okay, I know I have a tendency to do this. And I don't just mean in the overt way. Like,
it's like drinking coffee to relax.
Exactly. That's exactly it, man. Yeah.
I remember seeing my sister do that one time. I was like, she's making an espresso after we had there's this big thing going on at my dad's house. She was just feeling all shitty. She's making a double espresso. I'm like, what are you doing? Like, don't drink any more of that. You're good. This is the opposite. Time for the opposite.
Yeah.
And she was, but I already made it. I'm like, just dump it out. Who gives a fuck?
That's some addictive shit too. That sounds like me, man. I love listening to my addicted mind and the funny, the hilarious fucking ways that it tries to make sense of anything I'm addicted to. Specifically, that is such an addictive mind thing, which is like, well, we made the coffee.
Yeah.
So we must drink it. You know the rules of the Inquisitor.
We can't waste it.
Yeah.
If you waste it, then you'll have wasted it.
Did you hear what happened to Caliban? He threw away his espresso, and he's now in the dungeons of the Emperor.
They all saw him do it, and they would never waste it. It was also in a paper cup. That paper cup took energy to make, and he threw it in the trash.
I saw him do it. I saw Caliban throw his espresso in the trash.
That's what we just start doing. Go to coffee shops, order a drink to go, and after you get it, look at it for a little bit and say, could you throw this away for me?
That's a great art experiment.
Oh my God. You know what I was thinking about doing for real is hiring homeless people to giving them a bunch of cash to go onto really high-end businesses and buy the products.
Wow.
And just see what happens. Or go to a place that has like the signs that talk about not turning away people of any gender or race or ethnicity. It's like, I bet you're going to turn away this person.
Seeing what the limits are to that, like a werewolf.
Yeah, basically.
Or would they turn away if I had the money to put someone in like
werewolf.
hardcore werewolf prosthetics?
Like a realistic werewolf going to a fucking Italian restaurant.
Pointing to the sign.
Oh my fucking God, that would be amazing.
And then the next day, no werewolves.
Yes,
on
no
the
werewolves.
Sign. We've got to get rid of that sign or at least change it a little bit.
Are you mocking this by putting werewolves on this?
Yeah.
There's no such thing as werewolves. We had one here yesterday.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Like the
You were saying something about else, but
whatever. The addictive mind and its insane anytime you hear yourself trying to rationalize doing an addictive thing. But I was talking to a friend the other day, and he was like talking about some city, and he was mentioning, one of his friends out there is having a little bit of a booze problem, and I was like, he's like, I'm like, well, you got to stop the booze if you're having any problem you're having in your life, socially, in your jobs or whatever it may be. If you're drinking every night, then that's why you're having the problem.
Yeah,
probably.
Or anything that's like that. Any sort of real generic, easily available salve is always a good thing to cut out.
But you know what I'm talking about though, like when you run into like a hardcore drinker who's trying to decode why their life is falling apart. Mm-hmm. Like I just don't know what it is, man. I'm trying really hard. I'll get another whiskey ginger. It just seems like, I don't know, maybe I'm not made for this city. I'll get another whiskey ginger. You know what I mean? You're right. You're like, you're drinking every night. You don't know what you don't know. Like you have no idea what is causing your problems until you take away. It's like someone on fire being like, man, I've got the worst poison ivy and I just don't know what to do about it.
I think I just need to have some more fire.
Yeah. I don't know what it is. I keep setting myself ablaze. Anyway, man, to get back to it, do you think that it is inauthentic to express gentleness, compassion, and kindness when you are filled with frustration and rage?
Inauthentic? You mean like not like addressing how you feel, like not sort of feeling how you feel?
No, you feel it, right? But like for example, like you're just in a bad mood, right? Your gut biome is shitting fucking demon eggs and it's getting into your consciousness and you're just in a bad mood and you don't feel good. And you feel like unhappy with your situation in life. You woke up on the wrong side of the bed, right? What's better? To be like express that grumpiness as so many do. You know what I mean? Which is the worst when, the person rolls.
Oh, you mean passing it on? Passing on the shit?
People trying to imagine that they could be like, I woke up on the wrong side of the bed, so look out for me today. Yeah. I kind of woke up on the wrong side of the bed, so I'm going to be telling it like it is today. Just, I'm in a fucking bad mood, man. To try to rationalize their anger addiction by saying, like, I woke up on the wrong side of the bed, so I'm going to treat you like shit.
Trump!
Yeah, that shit.
Right.
But if you were to go to them and say, what are you doing? You're being a dick to everybody. They would be like, I'm just being who I am.
Or, look, are you serious? Open up your eyes.
Yeah.
That kind of thing.
If you're not angry, you're not listening. You're not paying attention. Yeah.
I don't think it's, inauthentic. I don't think so. It's like that thing where that's the hardest thing to do, right? Is to be, okay, I feel like shit, but I need to realize that and not feel like shit because it's just going to cause more it's like a snow. It's like a magnet. The polarity's off, and if you have that, you just end up attracting more of the same. If you do that, whereas I don't know. I guess I felt that way a ton of times. I think I fooled myself into thinking I was being otherwise. But if I do something as simple as just biking for like 15 minutes, and then I go someplace, all of a sudden I see all this stuff. I'm like, oh, that's hilarious. Look at that.
Right.
Like you see stuff that just, it's like, you get like little doses of novelty for free because you're not looking for it so much. You're just open to, I don't know. I always, this is like the most primitive example of it, but like I tend to be in a hurry a lot. I like to rush things a lot. I think it comes from having a bowel disease. There's something about like linked with those because if you have a bowel disease, you tend to have to go to the bathroom a lot. So you either are in a rush to get to the bathroom because you don't shit your pants, or you're in the bathroom so you are not present socially for something. So I feel like I'm missing out. So it's like, hey, what are you guys talking about? That kind of thing. So I think a lot of times I'm in a hurry and I'm anxious to not miss out on things, or just that general feeling of rushness or hurriedness or whatever you want to call it. And so a lot of times I'll just be that way in daily life, even though I'm not feeling bad physically. And a lot of times it's like a thing where, let's say you go to a business like a coffee shop, right? And you get there and you're like in a rush to get your coffee because you got to be someplace. It always seems like to me, if I'm in a rush, when I get there, there's a line. But if I'm real casual, I'm just like, oh, this is great to be here. I'm super happy. I walk up there. I'm the first person there. And I turn behind me. There's 15 people behind me. Like you get line luck.
Right.
Where it's like that thing where if you're not in a hurry, if you're not rushing things, you're being in the moment, you get a little bit of grace. You get divine grace gifted upon you it's like a little gift.
I got you. Oh, yeah. Well, God, I've got this embarrassing theory on that right now, which is that it's not like, it's that you're doing navigation, that you're literally navigating through the multiverse and the onion skin layers.
That makes sense.
So the consciousness of relaxing and gentleness, it's like changing the sails on your boat, and you start sailing into a non-aggressive universe.
Yeah.
The aggressive universe that many of us are familiar with. You're going to get backstabbed. You're going to get embarrassed. You're going to get fucked over. You're not going to have enough money. You're going to be hurt. You're going to be, of course, that universe is going to trigger all kinds of aggression.
It's squeezing too hard to shit. It's that.
Yeah, man. Overexerting.
Yeah, you're overexerting. When you try too hard, the thing doesn't happen. But when you just when you coax it, I mean, it's the same thing as yelling at the dog instead of, it's quicker, it's faster to say, get the fuck in here. But it doesn't work as well as inside. It takes a little longer.
It doesn't work.
You save time, even though it's like that weird coefficient where the thing that takes longer works better because actually you have to do the other thing so many more times.
And the other thing fucking hurts, P.S. Like, if you're really getting mad, it's really exhausting. Like,
oh, anger is the most exhausting thing ever.
Yeah.
It's crazy how sometimes you can like, it'll sneak up on me too. I'm like, why am I so fucking tired? Oh, it's because I'm holding on to trying to be serious.
Yeah, man.
I'm trying to be a serious guy. I'm a serious guy. Take me seriously. Excuse me. I'm serious. I have status. Excuse me.
That.
Oh, God, it's so fucking exhausting.
It is Yeah, well, I mean, this is like why vacations are a waste of time. It's like this fucking myth of the vacation is one of the most tragic, catastrophic formations in capitalism.
It's a fucking genius idea.
By Satan.
The satanic imperialists. They figured it out, man.
Yeah.
They fucking cracked. That's like the vacations are truly the genius code of the, I mean, if you want to be like really conspiratorial, I feel like that, I think in some sense, certain ideas that the existence of pervasive racism could be linked to, if you want to be really conspiratorial, that is like an Illuminati agenda.
God, I think I've become so dark and satanic that I feel the necessity to kind of be like, number one, I don't think it's fair to call the imperialist Satanists. I think it's more likely that they are Christian or some kind of offshoot of Christianity or some other unknown religion.
Yeah.
But I don't think they're the most forms of Satanism. It would be fair to call them that. And then number two, I don't think the Illuminati would be hoodwinking people into vacations necessarily as much as but then I don't know. That's I have a different version of the Illuminati.
There's different versions
but
of them
let's
out
invent
there.
a name for this group. Like the Order of, I don't know, what's some cool David Icke name for it?
I don't know, Comet Ping Pong Pizza. David Icke. Yeah, what would be, I don't know, you could say reptilian instead of, because reptilian implies kind of a nefarious thing as opposed to Illuminati.
Okay,
right?
so let's call them
Illuminati is like illuminated.
Yeah.
Reptilian's like a reptile.
Yeah.
Yeah, so reptilian agenda.
Okay, let's talk about the reptilians. So you're saying the reptilians are luring humans to Hawaii to vacation spots?
The places that cost a ton of money, that don't provide any actual respite from the things that they're leaving, and also the idea the cable news cycles, like both sides of the cable news, like left and right, anything they say is to drum up a sort of antagonism for the other. The idea that there's all these others.
Yeah, sure.
Oh, they're trying to take this from you. Oh, they don't like you. They hate you. When I think your average person doesn't really care. Most people are not plugged into news as much as you and I think, or we're not, the people we're surrounded with, at least in probably Los Angeles and other cities, people are more news conscious.
Fixated.
Right. They're so fixated in that quote unquote bubble kind of thing. So they feel there's like that sort of, that megaphone that's screaming, oh, this happened. He said this. He said they did that. They did this thing. And so you're so aware of otherness that you can't stop to realize that everyone is a human, and the fact that someone's skin color is different than you, that they make less money than you, or they make more money than you, or they speak a different language. We're linked by things that are so much more fundamental than those things. If two people who are fucking hardcore metalheads, they have way more in common with each other than almost any sort of physical characteristic you could see.
Sure.
You could, and so that to me, that's what I feel like is nefarious in terms of like the quote unquote reptilian overlords. Is you create this thing to create division in like the populace and the general
division
populace.
Entertainment.
Yeah.
So it's like entertainment that's based on blowing the fires of selfishness and division, and then
making you fear other people,
which produces aggression, which produces news. So kind of like if you want to create that kind of news, you need to keep breaking people up into like this side and that side.
Yeah.
Because by breaking people, if you don't do that, because it's kind of like, to get back to the original insect conversation, the drones, the taking over insects and hacking into their nervous system, so to speak, to like fulfill the nefarious needs of someone controlling the insect. It's clear to me that human beings are a hive of primate, or whatever you want to call us. I guess you'd call us primates, right? A primate
Yeah, we're
hive.
primates.
We're a primate hive. And, I saw this hilarious news story popped up. I guess some bees used plastic to make a beehive, right? And the news story was like, this is so sad. And it's like,
no, it's not. It's fucking red.
It's red. And P.S. Motherfucker, look at all of us. That's what we're doing.
Yes.
The bees are just doing what we do. But regardless, we are building our hive out of technology. We take fundamental elements and we transform them into technology, and then we live inside our technology, and that's what we do. And the whole planet is covered in us. We've burrowed into literally every square foot almost of land on the planet, outside of that covered with water, and we're transforming that land into technology, and we nest inside of it. And then within this nesting process, we have these very interesting, what seems to be, as a bee expert, I studied when I was getting my PhD in Buddhism from the University of Neuroscience, I minored in bee studies. So I know a lot. I have a PhD in bee studies.
I got a PhD in buzz.
You getting buzzed?
Oh, just that's what.
Oh, the buzz. Oh, yeah. I didn't know you were a bee man.
Yeah.
But the fucking... so now we have this name for a certain type of person. We call them an influencer.
Oh,
right?
Yeah.
So a beehive, I think most hives have a controller, a queen, and she releases pheromones that produce changes in the patterns of the bees and will actually cause bees to be calmer, turn bees aggressive. So similarly, we have these things called influencers in this unacknowledged, super advanced primate hive made of technology. And these influencers send out their weird digital signals that cause ripples in the hive. And these ripples can create massive changes in the hive, from like fashion changes. Suddenly everybody's getting their hair cut a certain way. Everyone's wearing these types of clothes. Everyone's using a certain type of slang, to like World War II, right? Where suddenly everyone's like, you know, dressing the same fucking way and killing each other and grinding each other up. That's what we're fucking in right now. And when the news, you could look at the news or any kind of massive signal as being the bee, the queen bee that's sending out these signals into the hive. And right now, we are all taking it in as though it were real and not understanding that we're just essentially inhaling a kind of data pheromone, which is hacking our nervous system and causing us to become slaves to corporations.
Oh, yeah.
Which is what we're doing, right? That seems to be what's happening.
Yeah, it's that's you really put it. That's a great way to put it. Yeah, because it makes people. It just puts you at such dis-ease, and it's not. I don't want to say natural because it's a catch-all, but it's a thing where I don't know. It kind of seems like people's like almost like their brains are hijacked in a sense, because, and we talked about this before, how the scientists who work at Facebook, which owns Instagram, they studied all this the same science that people who build casinos. It's the same people.
Skinner, B.F. Skinner, behaviorism.
Yeah, they know exactly how to hack the human brain, and they design the programs based upon those ideas. So Facebook and Instagram are built the same way a slot machine is built. The same type of sounds and triggers to initiate these like micro dopamine responses to cause you to be invested in the thing. They know that, and it's like that thing in Jurassic Park where, what's his name? The doc with Jeff Goldblum's character is like, you were so obsessed if you could make dinosaurs, you didn't stop and think if you should.
Oh yeah, right.
It's like the same thing with those guys. And
right.
They did that, and you can extrapolate that to any sort of news organization. These media companies, they're so good at inserting an idea into people's heads that we don't even know, and people don't know it until it's too late. And they're so good at but causing people to feel
dis-ease.
A certain way. Yeah, dis-ease, and to where that's why all this election stuff is just so maddening.
What do you mean?
Because everyone is so keyed up on it, and it's ramping up even more.
Right. Well, I mean, this is the great show of the government, which has been putting on this show every 4 years. And the show has many different characters in it. But the essence of the thing, the moral of the show, or the story of the show is, without us, y'all are fucked. Mm-hmm. You need us. And it's always the stake of this, the fate of the planet is at stake every fucking 4 years.
Oh, yeah.
The heart of America.
God. Oh, my God.
Yeah, every fucking 4 years. It's just a desperate... And what, true or not or whatever, it's really no different from your worst friend. You know what I'm talking about, which is like inevitably you will have a person in your life, if you're not careful and you're not discerning, who is not experiencing the normal kind of trouble and drama that all of us are experiencing just from existing on the planet, but who has devised a never-ending cycle of catastrophe to suck the attention of their social group to them so that everyone is constantly tending to their self-inflicted wounds.
It happens a lot with really famous actors sometimes. Though you'll see people who they're creating like intense amounts of drama on set because they're fucking bored. And they're really smart, but they're not smart enough to realize that they're doing this thing. They're basically just creating a problem.
Yeah.
Because they feed off of drama.
Yeah.
And if they're not acting, they have to be acting in something. So you make like a fucking side play, which is you demanding something, and then it's just that sort of thing.
Yeah.
I kind of think it's cool. Sometimes it's like a funny play to watch. Like, holy shit, she's crazy. Because she won't let that little thing becomes this massive drama. Yeah, it's like you're inventing a problem.
They're putting on a show.
Yeah.
And and some people are so good at putting on the show that they become not just like run-of-the-mill assholes, they become profound assholes. So
Yes, I am a profound asshole.
Yeah, there's like a profundity to their assholery where you're like, oh my God, you rarely run into this level of idiot. Like, this is a pure, hypnotic, A-grade asshole.
It's like that character in, was it Royal Tenenbaums? The one that Bill Murray's character is studying this, I think his name's Dudley or something like that. He's like it's like a nerdy kid with glasses, and he's like a psychological anomaly. And he's presenting them in front of these psychologists, and they keep asking him questions. Say, "Can Dudley tell time?" And he goes, "Oh no." Like all those different things. But he can read a watch, right? Oh, yeah. Like, he's this way, but not that way.
Well, yeah.
He's like this. He's a freak of nature because of all these very specific contradictions.
Yeah, that's
it's like a non-funny version of that.
Yeah, that's it. And they're all out there. And like, if you end up with like caught in the web of one of these things, if they won't let you go, like they can hold on to you. And it's like the ultimate cinematic example of this. Just watched it. Lethal Attraction.
Lethal Attraction? Is that new?
Fatal Attraction. Lethal Attraction.
That's an old movie, right?
Old. Glenn Close. What's his name from Wall Street? Fatum does the best impression of him.
Michael Douglas.
Michael Douglas. Have you seen this movie?
I haven't seen it. I think I have never seen it.
Oh, please watch it.
Okay.
But it's I'm going to spoil. Can I spoil it for a little bit?
You can't spoil a movie.
You will know.
Not a good movie.
Thank you. That's an actor. That's someone who's like a professional actor who knows movie. I agree with you 100%. But those of you who haven't seen the movie, who want to like watch it and get freaked out, skip the next I don't know how. Just go watch it and come back. But so basically, this guy, the worst nightmare happens to him, which is that his wife goes on vacation. He has an affair, has sex with Glenn Close, and they basically have like a 2-day fling, right? And so he is way too cocky, so self-absorbed. It seems like he's not even considering the damage he could do to his family, whatever. But it isn't a morality. It's not like I don't know. They do a really good job.
It's more a thriller, right?
Yeah, it's a thriller. But like anyway, the dude ends up having a 2-day fling with fucking crazy hot sex that only Michael Douglas can have in a movie that came out in the 80s. You know what I mean? Like sink sex, like Flashdance 80s style sex, like fucking against the sink. Oh, just crazy, Anyway, he needs to go home. And he's like, okay, that's it. They did this 2 days in a row. And she's like,
you're not going home.
She like gets violent for a second. And then essentially ends up, and this is where I stopped spoiling it, cutting her wrist.
Oh, okay.
So now he's got to deal with the fact that she's self-harming.
Yeah.
And realizing, and he's like, you knew I had a married, you knew this. And she's like, what did I know? What do you think I knew? Don't do this. Why do you do that? And he's like, oh no, I'm fucked. So anyway, what I'm saying is that's a hyper example of this type of, not just individual, but this type of parasitic, control-based entity, which is that it has to have your attention, and if it doesn't, it'll either hurt you or hurt itself. And so this is the news this is the government, this is the world that we're in, is our shadows have grown into these control-based mega political structures that are constantly trying to get us to come into the house, not in the way you were talking about doing it, in a sweet way, but using fear, trying to control us through terrifying us, trying to control us by getting us on the hook and giving us this sense that without them, we're done. And because
making teams.
You got to make teams if you want to control the board. First, you need a board. Then you need pieces. Then you need sides. Then
you also have to make up like, oh, this is a game, but this isn't a fucking game. This is the stake. You have to make the stakes. The stakes have to be super high, even though when really they're not. Like everyone's the same.
Civilization depends on you voting for Joe Biden. If you don't vote for Joe Biden, the world will end. The world will fall into the sun.
You know that guy? That's a Trump guy. You talk to him?
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. I mean, you didn't fucking kill him? That sort of crazy thing where, or even both, any side, any direction of the whole, like being compassionate to someone who is clearly suffering as well.
Yeah.
And what's that Mark Twain thing? I don't know, something about who weeps for the devil or something about like the idea of
the devil deserves our prayers more than anybody. Yeah, and also that's, I love Mark Twain. What's so funny is Mark Twain has like 90 quotes about the devil, which is so fucking cool.
For atheists, the world's most famous atheist.
Yeah, cranky fucking Satan quotes. What are your top 3 favorite? I want to get back to this, but do you have a top 3 favorite Mark Twain quotes?
I feel like I can't even think of them all. There's so many good ones. I think about. Oh, I can't think of any of the actual quotes. I just always think about like different stories.
Sucking mucus out of a blister. Or how does he put it? It's actually, to suck upon the blister of a wounded ape is to taste something about the Pope. The Pope's dick. He said if you want to know what the Pope's dick tastes like, suck on the blister of a wounded ape.
Yeah, that's a great one. I like a cigar, smoke it all you want, but when it comes down to it, we're all going to die in a forest fire.
Yeah, that's a fucking powerful Twain quote.
Right.
Oh, yeah. Or like, what's the hatchet on neck. Wait, a hatchet on when the hatchet's on your neck.
A funny friend you'll find in a fly.
Flight.
Flight. A funny friend a fly becomes that lays eggs in your.
Wait, no, I know the one this is pour honey in a hatchet wound and friends you will make.
Yes, that's it.
Yeah.
Honey in a hatchet wound and friends you will make. The sounds are real, but unmistakable to fake.
God, he was such a great poet. What's your favorite Mark Twain poem?
It's probably The Cancer Dancer.
How does it go?
Find me a lance, show me a window. I'll be there. I have to look it up. Hold on a second. Yeah. I have to look it up.
No problem.
Here it is. Yeah.
We're going to cut to a commercial.
Okay, cut to commercial real quick.
Support for the Duncan Trussell Family Hour podcast comes from Manscaped, who is #1 in men's below-the-belt grooming. Manscaped offers precision-engineered tools for your family jewels. Has it ever happened to you that you're getting ready for a date and you realize that you've got like a Jerry Garcia beard level pubic bush because you've been in a kind of stasis, stuck in your house in a sort of weird stupor and haven't been social at all for the last 4 months and have completely discarded the notion that you even need to trim your pubes because you've just accepted the fact that you're lost in some kind of weird, sad coma? And then suddenly the sun shines in your life, you meet someone and you realize that you have got to get shaved down, baby. This happened to me once where I grabbed some kitchen scissors and I cut myself. I cut my dick. And it's not pleasant to talk about. And maybe it's not necessarily polite dinner table conversation, but when you're looking down at the same kitchen scissors that you use to cut some of your food, and you see drops of blood raining down on your hand in the shower. You feel like you're in the fucking Bates Motel, but you're slicing yourself, and you think to yourself, is this some kind of Freudian thing where I want to cut my dick off and give it back to my dad? This doesn't have to happen to us, friends. Manscaped has everything you need to get back on top of the no hair game. You shouldn't use the same trimmer on your face as you're using on your balls. Not only is it dangerous, it actually will bring down the curse of a very ancient god into your life. They have redesigned the electric trimmer. Their Lawnmower 2.0 has skin-safe technology, so this trimmer won't nick or snag your precious testicles. Always use the right tool for the job. They have a crop preserver, an anti-chafing ball deodorant, and moisturizer. You already put deodorant in your armpits, but for some reason, why aren't you cleansing that bag of potential human existence that you carry down there between your wonderful legs? Right now, you can get 20% off plus free shipping with the code Duncan at manscaped.com. Your beautiful balls will thank you. They literally will talk to you. It's amazing when it happens for the first time. Can get a little weird if they wake you up at night. You'll get 20% off, free shipping, and a free travel bag with the code Duncan at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping and a free travel bag at manscaped.com. Use code Duncan. We're back. Stand down in the stairs.
Stand down on the stairs like a Tracy tipster. Look up downstairs for a dusty whisper. You'll find the lightning lance you faster than a dancer. What's that whisper? What's that huddle? Oh, it's the mind of cancer.
So good.
You're bleeding like a steed on a dusty old plain. Once it leaves you, it becomes a little brain. Food for the wretched, popples in the pizza. It's a mushroom. It's a cloud. It's the smells that will defeat you.
Oh my God. The smells that will defeat you. So it's almost like he knew the coming thing. That this would be the android. It was like but weirdly, is he like trying to help the future robots?
I think he was neutral. He may have been an alien himself. He arrived with the comet. So
right.
Yeah, it's
Halley's Comet.
Halley's Comet arrived and left with Halley's Comet. So who knows? It could have been an injection. He does have another poem that reminds me a lot of the current political situation.
Great. We're going to cut to commercial.
Okay.
This podcast was brought to you by French Williams Bank Trust. Remember, it's the bank you can trust, the only bank that's considered American in the heart of Paris.
French Williams Bank and Trust. Brought to you by Brock Pisshatter. If you need hats and you need to go to the bathroom, Brock Pisshatter. Also brought to you by Corpy Underbrow. Corpy Underbrow and Carn Guest Legal Services. For all your accident needs, it's Corpy Underbrow and Carn Guest Legal Services.
Also brought to you by Sounds of the Spiritual Listener, a training program for learning the special sounds to make when you want to pretend that you're listening, including, oh.
Right?
Oh. Ah. All these sounds and many more can be yours. Remember, use offer code. I hear you. We're back with Shut It Be. We're reading Mark Twain poems. What do you got?
I've got a whole bag full of them.
Pull another. I love poetry.
One. This is a great one. This is one that was attributed to someone else, but I think the archaeologists found it was actually him. You're running, you're going real fast. Stand down quickly and check out your ass. If you're dripping a drip drop and it leaves in a flash, it might be a worm tied to you like a sash. Oh dither, oh splither, oh splatter, it matter. Dump a bucket of water on your head like a clatter. Dumplin', dundon, ruffle, cripple, crane, crow. These are a bunch of words that nobody knows.
Wow.
It's the water in your boot that sloshes aside ya. You've got a good chance of hiding a cider. Put a bold nail in the back of a bud, and you'll find a flower that blooms inside of a spud. Oh, potato, 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 potato. Drop me in the water and I'll fillet-o. On a donkey's old circumcised, riding inside a rail. The train pulls up and out pops a pail. Call it a bucket, call it a hole, call it a little boy's mind. You'll be back again. You'll be back again. And this time you'll find.
God damn, man. You know why that's making me tear up?
Why?
I'll tell you why. Because my grandfather, I remember we would have these family funerals, is what he called them.
Uh-huh.
And he would go out in the woods, find an animal, possum, rodent, kill it, and then do these beautiful funeral services for the animal.
Oh, that's cool. We used to call them artificial funerals.
They're real funerals if you killed the creature.
Yeah.
And these weren't, by the way, for the animal rights people out there. We lived next to one of those pet cemeteries. So these were had already been buried and had come back. They weren't.
Oh, they were re-risen and he killed
reanimated.
Them. Okay, reanimated, killed.
Yeah, because this was back when there was way more pet cemeteries out there.
Yeah.
And this was that time when like cats started figuring out that you could like kill a bird and then bury it and it would come back and you could kill it again.
Oh, because it multiplies.
It just comes back to life.
Yeah, it multiplies. There's two. That's why they did it.
Oh, yeah, right.
That's
yeah.
the whole saying, a bird in the hand beats two in the bush.
Oh, got it.
It's actually that saying was actually the wrong way. It's two birds in the bush beats one in the hand. Because those two birds in the bush will become four.
Right. Yeah, that was a fucked up time, man. It was just the demon bird swarms were like picking babies apart.
Yeah.
You'd put your baby down on a blanket, go to take a piss. You'd come back bleached bones.
You're talking about Pecker's Wreck.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
Pecker's Wreck of
Pecker's
the
Wreck.
1800s.
That was a heavy time.
That Mark Twain said that time was one of the definitive moments or times that inspired his art. So many great artists were inspired by that because you just didn't know.
Yeah, a lot of people said they felt like it was 1,000 years long, even though it was only a year. That there's all these poets and artists who lived there who's like, I swear to God, this has been happening for almost 1,000 years.
Yep.
Why am I still alive? People stopped aging because there's something with the birds. When the birds did Pecker's Wreck on a child, they stole time. And it was like this sort of cyclical vampiric action that happened from the birds causing the people who are currently alive to basically exist on a loop for 1,000 years. And I can't remember what broke Pecker's Wreck, but
well, they shut down. What broke Pecker's Wreck was they shut down the pet cemeteries. The thing was, there was a time when having a pet cemetery near your house was like an American tradition.
Yeah.
And also, this was before the corruption of the soil. Uh-huh. So the soil was getting corrupted. And then, so people were like, oh, the dog comes back after dying.
This was salt of the earth.
And it's a little grumpy, but it's not dangerous, right? But then the more people kept using the cemeteries, the more corrupted the creatures became until bam, suddenly, and then the cats figure this shit out. Now the cats start burying these birds,
right?
Killing the demonic birds that would come out the next day. Now you've got, it's not just humans burying the animals they love, it's predatory cats, many of them who had been buried.
Oh, that was Crippler's Dip.
No, that was Pecker's Wreck.
But Pecker's Wreck, I thought Crippler's Dip ended Pecker's Wreck.
Crippler's Dip is the name of the conditions preceding the Great Pecker's Wreck bird plague.
So what about
of
Dipper's
the
Delight?
Dipper's Delight was the joy when people realized that there was a way to fix the problem. People were fucking panicking, man. Babies' bones were being stripped from their bodies. Their brains sucked out of their eyes. Cats were burying dead demon birds to resurrect them for hunting fun, I guess. But simultaneously we're causing, it was Dipper's Delight was when...
That's when they delighted when the end of Pecker's Wreck happened.
Yeah, when it finally stopped.
Wow. But how did they stop Pecker's Wreck?
They shut down the pet cemeteries.
Wasn't there a name for that?
It was called the Great Shutting.
Oh, was that the same as Budger's Ledge?
No, Budger's Ledge, that happened like 50 years
Okay.
later. That was that whole fucking thing with the goddamn possums.
I always conflate Budger's Ledge with Cricker's Dick.
Cricker, well, that I could see. Because Cricker's Dick that's the war that happened with the King of the Possums.
Yeah, the Possum King.
Which, by the way, was what the fucking nutty thing about that was just to even discover that possums were living in a monarchy was like...
What's that possum's name? God, what was his name? His
The
name
commander?
was Gandy Horfish.
Gandy Horfish.
Yeah, Gandy Horfish. Gandy Horfish was definitely one. Wasn't there another one? I can't remember.
Peter.
Peter Angel Touch.
Yeah.
Peter Angel Touch.
Yeah, that was General Peter Angel Touch.
General Peter Angel. General
No,
Peter
you're
Angel.
talking about penal anal touch.
I'm talking about Peter Angel Touch.
General Penal Anal Touch is my favorite porn star. You're talking about...
General Peter Angel Touch is not
Yeah.
the same as General Penal Anal Touch.
Listen, a General Penal Anal Touch is actually really good for your health.
I think you're thinking of Gentle Penal Anal Touch.
Yeah, General Penal... Oh, right, yeah.
There's
General
Gentle Penal Anal Touch, General Penal Anal Touch, General
Peter Angel Touch.
and Gentle Peter Angel Touch.
Well, let's talk about Gentle Penal Anal Touch.
Okay.
Because this is like one of the... There's centers all over the country.
Yeah.
And to get back to the original subject of aggression...
That's where chakra comes from.
What?
Isn't this where chakra comes from?
Chakra therapy.
Yeah.
So I want to get to the like essence of, I think, to really bring out the sweet essence of what we talked about today. They're going to use nanobots to control bugs.
Yeah.
They're using mimetic nanobots to control the minds of most people.
Mimetic is in meme.
Yeah, mimetic
Yeah.
is a meme. So many of us don't realize that we're very similar to a little mosquito that's been turned into a drone, only we're not filming or gathering audio data. We're just going around shitting out, vomiting out divisive information, which is creating a kind of aggressive feeling, which is really just the byproduct of a fear state everyone's in because they think that we're in the middle of a zombie invasion, and we've forgotten that we're just human beings who all share a common desire to feel okay. And this is producing aggression. The antidote for the aggression is not what many people think: to drink, to be angry, to throw things, to bomb things. The cure for this aggression is 100% of the time gentle, penal, anal touch.
Touching.
Yeah.
Penal anal touch. And it can go, sex is, gender is irrelevant.
Has nothing to do with it.
Gentle penal anal touch, yeah.
Sex has nothing to do with it. So it's like if you are in a monogamous relationship, for example, in this case, you can, allow your penis, if you are a male, you could pull your penis down and give it a gentle, press against the anus. And if you are someone who is not in a close proximity of a penis, you can just use a something shaped like a penis. It's not
Shaped like a penis, or you can hire a penis simulator. Penal ping is great. I have a penal ping app on my phone. Just ping, and it just tells you where it's at.
I use the Penal Ping app
Yeah.
on the what's it called?
CRISPR?
Google. Yeah, CRISPR's
Yeah.
Penal Ping app. Yeah. But yeah, the point of this, if you're feeling bad, chances are you haven't pushed your penis against your anus in a while. Think about it. In all seriousness, when was the last time you pulled your penis back and tried to push it into your anus?
It's been a while. I've definitely I've done a tuck and run, but I've never done a tuck and push. I went jogging with a full tuck in the mountain. You have to do the trail running, because if you trail run with a full tuck, the angle allows your thighs not to sweep past the shaft so aggressively.
Whoa.
But if you do a flatland run, it's going to be hard.
Shit.
Yeah. Well, some people do it to stretch their penis out, to give it a longer dick. It's a therapy. You do a full tuck.
That works?
Yeah, you just have to switch balls.
What do you do again?
You have to do a full tuck. You switch which side of the balls your penis is on every mile.
Okay.
And
I have one ball.
Well, do you have a false ball?
I didn't get a prosthetic yet.
Well, you know what? You'll be okay. I think it's not so much about the width of the balls. Because you think about the balls are dangling, so the penis is going around the part above the balls. It's more just to give it a slight direction, right or left. So you go wrap around the balls, do the full tuck, you go running, and the action of your thighs bristling, rubbing against the penile shaft cause it to stretch, and it makes you have a longer dick.
Holy shit!
Yeah.
How long are you? What? Like, if you don't mind me asking, how many
I
inches
stopped.
have you?
I got too long.
What?
I had to do reverse therapy.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah, I just didn't like it. You know, my pants didn't fit. I have a lot of pants. I have a lot of pants I like.
Cargo shorts?
I don't do shorts. I couldn't do shorts.
You couldn't do cargo shorts that go to your knees. It got that long.
Yeah, and I was like, if I was that long, what am I going to do? Like, if I wore briefs, it's just like this sort of insect, like snake coil, like a, what's that called? Citronella bug handle, like Italian sausage that comes in a spiral. You
I know
see
what you're
in,
saying, yeah.
Like on Goodfellas.
Like
You
a
ever seen
coil.
Goodfellas?
A meat coil.
Yeah, meat coil on Goodfellas. They're grilling it in the background.
Yeah.
It looks really good. It's a spicy Italian
It's
sausage.
a delicious dish.
It's one of my favorite part of Goodfellas.
Yeah.
It might have been Donnie Brasco. Either way, it was one of those Italian mob movies. They're cooking a big spiral sausage in the background.
Dude, it was in Teen Wolf 3. Remember when the werewolf went in the Italian restaurant and ordered the meat
the
coil?
big spiral meat coil that
Yeah.
looks like a citronella thing you used to burn in the 90s. It was a little thing made by Off.
Yeah. So
That thing.
You had to coil your dick.
I had to coil, and I
every
don't
day?
like doing it.
How long did that take?
Oh, minutes. But that wasn't the time, it was the look.
But you must have known when you're doing these exercises as it's getting stretched out that...
Duncan, I mean, you'd be surprised the things that we as people have cognitive dissonance about, and definitely penile stretching in that format is definitely something. I was a victim.
Of what? What do you mean you weren't a victim?
It's an online course that I signed up for.
You're saying that you victimized yourself by stretching your fucking penis out?
It was a multi-level marketing corporation.
What?
Yeah.
So, like, this had something to do with Amway or...
Dr. Abram Cable-Weiss.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
So you were sending people to some bullshit doctor to get their penis stretched out.
Yeah, and he's just a therapist. He just measures it. And it's like, 'cause I was a team leader, so I had to have the longest dick. And that was the thing.
What was the benefit of that outside of the obvious?
Oh, we would vacation in Cancun, Puerto Vallarta, Juneau, Alaska in the summer.
The doctor would take you?
They encouraged us to take these lavish vacations to show live your best life thing with the penile enhancement.
Wow.
And so we'd be out there taking these massive pictures of our penises in a line, like a bunch of snakes.
Pre-Instagram?
Well, this is about 5 months ago. I have a new account now, but this was a big thing. It was a multi-level marketing corporation. The security, the SEC has been all over it, but it's a thing. He's just so slippery, and I'm out of it, thankfully.
Are you okay? Is your penis okay?
Yeah, it's still really long and huge and wide, but it's I'm getting back to a place where it's a more sustainable penis girth and length.
God, man, I'm sorry that happened to you.
Yeah, it's rough, but it's hard having a massive cock that's that big.
I've heard that.
It's actually a real burden.
I've heard that. Yeah, I've heard that it's like, actually, only because, and this is one of these weird synchronicities that I love that happen on the podcast, shared mine, whatever. I fucking was going to read, because I knew you're bringing in your Twain stuff. I was going to read a Mark Twain poem.
Oh my God.
And this is going to blow your fucking mind when you hear what it's about. Coiled like fire, my breeches extend. I'm laying in my pyre, and yet there is no end. Crickle crackle goes the flames. My shirt burns away. My boots burn in two, and at last my breeches flay. And there before my family near, those I love and those I hate, uncoiled my massive sausage spear, and they at last knew what sealed my fate. This coil of meat that hung so far, it dragged upon the weeds, and there within a snake it sprung, and that snake ended me. Mark Twain.
What a seer. S-E-E-R. What a frickin' seer.
Yeah.
Sweet Jiminy Jackson. Jesus, crippled on Christ.
He just has symbolized the whole fucking thing. Because right there, it's like not only it's clear he's talking about, what everybody's going through, which is the fucking pets or cemeteries or overflooding with birds.
They're overflooded from Pecker's Wreck.
But back then, man, that was the time when everyone's dick was like, it would go down to your foot. That was before the Great Shrinking.
They don't talk about that in the history books.
They don't want you to know it.
It's classic controlling of information.
They say this is why they're trying to get rid of some of the fucking statues, is because like if you go and look, you'll see that like
the dickhead is at the bottom of the pant.
Always.
And it's a little peeker.
Go look at the base of Mount Rushmore. Have you ever looked? You know what's down there?
Looks like a bunch of snakes hiding in a bush. Bunch of giant snakes hiding in a bush.
It's hands down. This is another reason. P.S. By the way, this is why this is one of the conspiracy theories about ISIS destroying all those fucking ancient statues.
Because they don't want people to know. Because that's their thing. Is the penis used to have 2 holes. It doesn't make sense to pee out of the same hole you ejaculate out of.
No, it's disgusting.
Yeah. So they used to have 2, and now we have 1. I don't know. When did that happen?
I don't do
exactly.
Well, I mean,
no one will tell you.
You're not going to hear about it because no one fucking knows. And I'm not going to get into the whole thing of like our histories being changed in some way, shape, or form.
Revisionist.
I don't know. But I do know this. For sure, there was a time when semen was produced in the heart. And that if you weren't in love, your heart would not produce semen.
Can't
and
get a
there
baby
was
pregnant.
no way to make a baby.
Make a baby, not baby pregnant.
Yeah.
Baby become pregnant.
But then it moved down to the balls. And now you can come any which way you feel.
That's where they have little sayings about the home is where the heart is. It's not about your heart beating. It's home is where you
open your heart.
Open your heart. Open your heart and the truth will find you. Heartache is a headache without the love. Heart beats twice, eyes blink once.
I've got a heart on.
I got a heart on? That's a classic Emily Dickinson style slurred verse that changed into something else.
Those were the days. Back in the day, Emily Dickinson, she knew about it. And I'll tell you this, man. I don't give a shit that I have a micro penis. I don't give a shit that my penis is tiny and I have 1 ball.
It's proud.
I'm proud of it, but and unfortunately, there would be no way for me to do the exercises that you're talking about because it doesn't extend down that far.
You could try Pickler's prank.
What's that?
It's where you put a bunch of pickle juice on your loins that's been highly fermented, and it causes sort of a dysplasia in the cells due to the bacterial presence. And sometimes you can get a little bit of stretch out of that.
You're not still in that group, are you, Johnny?
No, I just know some. There's a little bit of tether. It's hard to leave.
So, let me ask: is there a place I could maybe go to learn more about this prank that you're talking about?
You could go. It's a dark website only, so you have to download a Tor browser and to know how to use a Tor browser. And once you do, if you just ask anyone...
Hang on. Hold on.
Yeah.
We're going to cut to commercial.
Okay.
Have you been feeling down? Sometimes do you wonder if you're Jesus? Is there an air of sickness in your house? Do you smell the stink of bodies where bodies there are not?
That's my man.
You may be suffering from Camberg syndrome. Camberg syndrome can easily be treated by a simple combing of the chest hair or an reimplantation of chest hair into your neck, back, and under pits.
Feel great.
We're back.
Oh, wow. We're back.
Okay. One last thing. I know we've been here for a while. And now we're going to jump out of serious talk and we're going to jump into back to comedy.
Okay.
How different is the Johnny Pemberton who walks around in the real world that we all know and the Johnny Pemberton at home?
Oh, man. I'm just a real homebody. Honestly, I'm kind of a nerd. When I'm at home, I'm probably just trying to find time to crack a book.
Yeah.
I like to read. This is so embarrassing, but I like to collect dictionaries. I collect dictionaries, but this is even more embarrassing. I'm probably reading Harry Potter, or I'm probably reading the Tolkien books about the hobbits.
I love those.
You know what? I like microwave popcorn in a good
Surprising
movie.
to hear it, Johnny. It's surprising to hear it. You have not only been part of this like strange penile extending cult, but also you got in a little bit of trouble because you apparently had a sex cult. Do you want to talk about that for a second?
Do I want to talk about it? Or can I talk about it?
Can you talk about it?
I want to talk about it, but I can't. I can
Okay.
make allusions to it.
Okay.
But, I mean, anything that you want to know, it's out there. You just got to read between the lines.
Wait, but you have the whole amphitheater orgy thing where people were carrying you around on that massive sausage cart.
Mm-hmm. That was more of a food addiction I was dealing with.
Wait, hold on. No. I've seen the leaked videos.
Yeah.
You're wearing a crown.
Yeah.
You're wearing a...
Crown of sausages.
Yeah. You're wearing a cape made of sausages.
Yeah, it's a full spiral. It's very thick.
You're
very heavy, very hot.
riding a cart made of sausages that are being held by naked men and women who are weeping. And
Well, they are wearing a translucent pork intestine. So they're not naked, but you can see everything. They are wearing you know how a sausage has a casing? They're essentially wearing sausage casing.
So what? They're wearing a see-through sausage dress.
Hey, I'm just telling you the truth.
Listen, I'm not saying, by the way, like doing those kinds of things is wrong.
Yeah.
But there's some scandals in there. People are saying that your sausages were tainted. What do you have to say to that?
I say, show me the tainted sausage. Tell it to the judge. Bring me what it is you think is wrong, and we'll deal with it on a personal level. I'm not going to try to solve everyone's problem here right now. Try to solve every individual concern with my sexual sausage, whatever you want to call it. I can't do that. I respect everyone enough. I'm sorry. I've already made a public apology about this. We've already talked about this at length. And I made the circuit and apologized. So now, if you got a problem, we'll talk about it in person. That's what I'm going to say.
You heard it here, folks.
Mm-hmm.
Johnny Pemberton, he'll talk to you about it in person.
On the
Where can people find you in person?
They can find me at any given cafe on any Monday throughout the city. I'm on a quest to hit every one. Otherwise, you can find me probably riding the train system. San Bernardino is a good place to start.
One last question. I know I promised I wouldn't go into this area, and I'm very sorry to your publicist, Mary, over there. I'm sorry. Please don't be mad, but this is my job. I'm a journalist.
Yeah, hold on, 1 second. Yeah, I know he knows. He knows it. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. According to you, you no longer go into the series of caves that you burrowed underneath large portions of the San Fernando Valley.
Uh-huh.
Now, reports have come in. I saw the TMZ footage. It's blurry, but it does look a lot like you. Somebody that looked just like you was spotted burrowing down into your sausage labyrinth.
Have you heard of confirmation bias? You know what that means?
No, what is that?
Confirmation bias is when one thing is right, so you think everything else is right. Just because it looks like me doesn't mean it is. Ergo hoc propter hoc.
What is that?
Ad hominem hocter ergo.
Okay.
If this is that, then that is therefore that as well. I don't think so.
I don't know.
This is a classic straw man fallacy.
No, I don't think so.
Yes,
There's
it
a
is.
video. There's a video of you that looks just like you going down into your caves, and you know what happened down in those fucking caves. You know what happened. Just admit it. You're going back in there
I could be. What's the point of admitting it at this point?
because you swore to all of us. Listen, let me tell you something.
Yeah.
You meant something to me, man. I went to your shows. I loved them. I loved your music. I loved your backup band. I loved your merch. I loved your songs. I shared your music with many of my lovers.
That music is still real.
You humiliated me.
Just because I'm went in those caves doesn't mean that anything I did is any. It doesn't retroactively affect that.
No, it's not that you went into the fucking caves. It's what you did in those fucking caves. Listen, man, it's fucked. You know it's fucked. You know what you did. Why were you laying in that muck? Why did you allow yourself to be rolled and coiled in all of those fucking sausage coils? Why were you fucking living like that? Why weren't you making music?
I had to take time off. I had to take time off and remember why I got into this shit in the first place. And it was because I saw that footage in Goodfellas of that sausage and it looked so good. I was like, how do I get that same thing? It just was that. I just wanted it so bad.
Listen, I'm going to accept your example or your apology or whatever you want to call what you just did. But I think you've got a lot of fucking thinking to do. And I think that if you're still going down in those fucking caves and getting all wrapped up in those throbbing...
Hey, excuse me. You seem to be pretty obsessed with these sausages and the throbbing. Have you been... Maybe I would invite you. Come with me, Duncan. Come on down there.
I've got a micro penis.
It doesn't matter.
It does matter every time I go. They say, show me your sausage penis. And I can fucking get... Fuck off. You know you made those rules, too.
You walk up, there's an old saying that goes like this. I was with you by your side, and we made footprints in the sand.
Yeah.
We made footprints in the sand.
Yeah.
Look at those footprints in the sand.
Okay.
Then I wake up and I see there's only one set of footprints in the sand.
Yeah.
Why is that? Where did you go? I didn't go anywhere. I was carrying you.
With my...
Footprints in the sand with my... That's why there's a line between the footprints. This is the sausage. So that's what I did, man. Come with me. Come down with me, brother. Come on, fam. Join my crew.
Okay.
Come ride with us. Come play.
Look, I was playing.
Come hang.
I'm sorry. I just felt rejected. I've been coming down there. I think I've been trying to get in for a couple months.
Let me carry you. Let my footprints in the sand carry you down in there, bro. Fam, just join up. Come ride with us.
You're an inspiration. Thank you so much, Johnny, for coming on the show. I will meet you in the pits, and I can't fucking wait. Where could people find you?
You can find me across the country in July. I'll be in Chicago at the Hideout. On the 15th of July. On the 16th of July, I'll be in... Let me just do this again, because I have all these tour dates.
Is this your coiling seminars, or are you doing stand-up?
These are my stand-up seminars that end with a coiling session. But they're basically stand-up seminars. They're basically stand-up seminars with a little bit of coiling woven in and out.
Great.
15th of July, I'll be in the Hideout in Chicago. The 16th, I'll be in Milwaukee at the Underground. The 17th, I'll be in Eau Claire, Wisconsin at the Plus. On Friday, the 19th of July, I'll be in Minneapolis, Minnesota at the Parkway Theater. On Saturday, the 20th of July, I'll be in Des Moines at Vaudeville Muse. And then the 22nd on Monday, I'll be in Brooklyn at Union Hall. And the 23rd, I'll be in Good in Philadelphia. This is all in July.
Can you, this is the last thing, thank you. Guys, go see Johnny, whether you're wanting to laugh your ass off or you're interested in some of his coiling techniques. It's great. I wish he was still doing music. His comedy is as good as his music. And that being said, would you mind just singing the first verse of Coiled to Win?
Coiled to Win? Okay. Hey, 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 coiled to win. Hey, 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 you're coiled, my friend. Get down and do it. We're gonna get coiled up and do it. You're never gonna get it right unless you get it tight. Get it coiled up and win. Roll it up, sprinkle it with some wisdom. Roll it up, sprinkle it with some wisdom. Coiled, toiled and boiled. Gonna get flayed all day when you wanna say segment now back. And my sister's gonna put away crack jack. Come on now, tack. Gonna get down, so I was making a tack. Come on, beam me up. Beam me up, beam me up. Beam me up. Beam me up.
Thank you, Johnny. You're the best. Hare Krishna.
Hare
That was Johnny Pemberton, everybody. Follow him on Twitter. Go to his shows. Follow him on Instagram. Follow this man wherever he may roam. Much thanks to our sponsors, Manscaped and Instacart. Head over there. Get your bush trimmed. Get some groceries delivered to your house. And much thanks to y'all for listening to the DTFH. For the love of all things sacred in this world, I beg that you go to the iTunes page and give us a nice rating. Leave us a beautiful comment, some poetry perhaps. Every time you do that, you dive through portals in the Matrix and enter into higher and higher levels of ecstatic paradise. Not only that, you move the DTFH further up those important charts. And once we get to the top, we're going to blow our stack, baby, and splatter sweet blasts of cream all over this country. Help us in this quest. We'll see y'all real soon. Until then, Hare Krishna. Are you on drugs? I don't understand. Are you high, man? Are you high, man? Are you on drugs? I don't understand.